Welcome to the Painting Business Pro Team Building webinar. So today's webinar, we're going to be talking about how to find great people and build winning teams for your business. This is the hardest and most valuable skill you'll learn. Without it, you can't build your business past a certain point. But with this skill, you can build your business as big as you want to. So what I mean by that is, without learning how to build teams, there's only so much you can do on your own. You know, you can only do so many estimates a week and manage the jobs and, for some of you, and do the painting. There's just a limit to how big your business can get without being good at hiring other people. And, if you can hire a couple other people and do an okay job with building teams, that'll get you a little further. But getting really, really good at building teams is not an easy thing to do, but it's a really valuable thing to do. And, it's not like I said, I might've written this in an email, but, I was not, born with like the team building gene or something. I didn't, come out of the womb being able to build teams. I've just learned a lot. And at this point in the game, I've got a lot of systems and processes for building really good teams. It's how I'm able to, run National Painting Group, and, we'll do about 8 million in revenue this year, maybe a smidge under that. But last year we did 5.8. So big growth year still, even with all this COVID stuff going on. And I run Painting Business Pro, and I run Painter Choice. And I was looking over my schedule to see, I was curious, how much do I actually work? And, it was 29 hours, 32 hours, 36 hours, 31 hours. I work about 30 to 32 hours a week. And I can do that because I've got great teams of people around me. And, my business, not just me, my business partner, Ben, he basically runs Foothills Painting now. He started as a sales guy for me, and back in 2011, and he runs Foothills Painting now. And he's really the guy who runs the show there. I don't even go to the Foothills team meetings. I talk to Ben, and that's it. And, he can run Foothills Painting. If he wanted to, he could run the business about 15 hours a week, maybe 20. But for sure, we could, if we wanted to, we could get him down to 15 hours a week. And probably by next March, he could be down to about 10 hours a week. And it's a $4.5 million business this year, $4.5 million. And it's because he's gotten really, really good at building teams. So that's what this webinar is about, is some of the learning lessons and the fundamentals to how do you build winning teams for your business. I kind of went through this, but why listen to me about building teams? Just because I've gotten pretty good at it. I've interviewed well over 3,000 people. I stopped tracking, but I know I interviewed 3,000 people by 2010. So the last 10 years, I don't know how many I've interviewed since then. What I've actually gotten pretty good at is I don't interview many people now. So I'll be sharing a lot. I'm just going to wing a lot of this because I'm passionate about building teams. But, we're about to hire 2 salespeople for Painter Choice, our marketing company. And we got 900 applications in 4 days. And we ended up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 6 interviews. And that's it. We only did 6 interviews, and we're going to hire 3 or 4 of them, or maybe only 2. We planned on hiring 2, but we've just got such good applicants. We might actually hire 4 people. So I've gotten really good at, how do I narrow it down before I spend time in interviews? Right now I've got, I don't know exactly how many employees, but somewhere around 35 full-time employees. I operate 6 companies. They're all having their best year ever. And I work about 30 hours a week. The bottom line is I'm really good at doing this. I'm really passionate about doing this. And I'm passionate about it because the only way I could do this is if I was creating a lot of value for a lot of people. There's no one of the things we're going to talk about is there's no shortcuts to building teams. You know, it's a free market. And the only way I can have people kicking ass for me is if it's providing a lot of value to them. This is not about, you know, I'm taking advantage. You can't take advantage of people to build a good team. You can't manipulate people. Like, you got to be providing a lot of value, and providing value has nothing to do with how much time you work. It has to do with how much value you provide. So, you know, that's why I'm passionate about it, is I think when you get good at this, it's just a way to create a lot more value for your clients, a lot more value for your team members. And when you do that, you're creating more value for yourself. And we all get compensated on the value we create. So to me, what I love about business is it's how you win in business is when everybody wins. When my clients win, my team members win, the community wins, that's when I win. So the promise for today's webinar is to, you know, my goal is to change your perspective on hiring and building teams. I want to change your perspective on parts of that. I think that's a big piece. Another promise is I'm going to try and show you where you've made mistakes in the past. And I want to show you a clear step-by-step approach to building teams in the future. Now, of course, we can't get into all the little details, but at least give you kind of a high-level view of how do you approach this. And at the end, I'll walk you through. I'll give you guys a link here actually to my recruiting process, the whole overview. I'll just give you a link to it at the end. But for those of you guys who are here on the live webinar, just for being here. And we got a few more people who showed up, so welcome to those of you who popped on. So that's what we're doing today. All right, so are you guys ready to dive in? And I might be pausing from time to time to drink because, like I said, I've been talking all day filming videos. So I'm wiped, I'm worn out. I'm actually going, I'm going up to the mountains this weekend to just golf for 3 days with some of my best friends. And I'm really excited because I literally just bought a Tesla today because my Jeep, I've been driving a Jeep Grand Cherokee, a 2005 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I was planning on driving it into the ground. And that happened on Tuesday. So I was going to buy a new car and I decided to splurge for a Tesla. So I'm really pumped. Friday morning, I'm leaving. I'm going down, I'm picking up my Tesla at the dealership and then going to meet my buddies. And my business partner, Ben, is going and he drives a Tesla. And so I'm excited to roll up and we're going to go up the mountain. So kind of crazy cram time for me right now to get ready to go out of town this weekend. So it's just a Model 3, Daniel. Super excited about it. But yeah, I bought a used one. So it's just in Littleton. It's an hour away. Get to cruise down. Made it happen really fast. Okay. But enough about that. I'm excited about it because I literally made that happen and finalized everything in between filming videos today. So here we go. All right, so it's no secret that building teams is hard. One of the biggest complaints I hear from business owners is I can't find good help. And real quick, guys, I'm going to ask you guys to just engage in the chat a little bit, just because I think it's more fun that way. But how many of you guys have heard that complaint from business owners? I just can't find good help. You know, can't find good help. Or people are unreliable. You can't count on people. Or their work isn't up to my standards. Or people keep quitting and the business, that keeps happening, right? People keep quitting and the business owner keeps starting over again and again. And by the way, if that's you or if you know someone, that gets really old and can be really frustrating. Holy shit, you guys are lighting it up over here. Heard it. That's why I'm here. I've heard it and said it. Agree. Feel that way with subs. Yes, heard that experience. We all say it. Oh, constantly hearing that from people since the 60s. People not systems related. Yeah, we can relate. Now, all right, good. So this is why we're here. Which is why so many people end up settling and doing it all and just doing it all themselves. or give up on building teams or get resigned, or whatever. But here's the thing I want to point out too, is that attrition, if anyone doesn't know what attrition is another word for turnover. It's a way to say I hire people and lose people. Attrition is losing people. So this CAP study, the Center for American Progress. So they did a study and they found the average cost to replace an employee. Okay, so this is how much it costs to replace employees. If it's a low paying job, so it's 16% of the annual salary. So to replace a $10 an hour employee would be $3,300. Now painters, if you're replacing a painter, that's probably $15 an hour. So it's about $5,000. It costs $5,000 to replace a painter. That's a good chunk of change. That's $100 a week, right? That's $2.50 an hour if you just paid someone a little more money to keep them around. Losing people and replacing them is very costly. It costs 20% of an annual salary for mid-range positions. So if you're like 30 to 50K a year, it's gonna cost $8,000 for a $40,000 manager, $10,000 for someone who's $50,000 a year. Now, what I'm focused on a lot is in this webinar, I'm going to focus on salespeople, project managers, office managers. They should be in the 40 to 70K range. Replacing that person is going to cost $8,000 to $15,000. That's the cost to losing someone. And when you start getting up in, higher numbers, the cost to replace a $100,000 a year person, it could be all the way up to $200,000 is the cost. And the way they look at those costs, because I dug in deeper, we're not going to get into all the details here, but the reason it says that is the cost of the recruiting. The cost, and someone just said, don't most companies lose about 80 to 90% of their employees? And the answer is yeah, there's tons of turnover. And it's really costly. That's why building teams, in my opinion, it's something I'm passionate about for two reasons. One is it's kicking business owners' ass, not knowing how to build teams. It's kicking their ass. It's costing tons of money. I mean, if you hire and lose 10 painters in a year, you're out $50,000. Now they calculated these costs by a number of things. It's the cost of job ads. It's the cost of HR and administrative costs to onboard people and let people go. It's the cost of maybe unemployment rates. It's the cost of your time for onboarding and then losing people. When you really look, they kind of aggregated, what does it really cost you to lose someone? And if we're getting up to the $100,000 range, they're saying, their study showed it's the cost is $200,000. The higher someone is paid, the more it costs to replace them. So when attrition happens, you lose the time you invested into hiring and training that person. It's gone. That time is flush it down the toilet. It was worthless because that person's gone now. You could have put that time into another part of your business. You lose the money you invested into hiring that person, because by the way, I'm going to talk about hiring ads briefly. And, we spend a lot of money hiring people. And you miss out on the results that could have been produced with a better employee or by yourself. Now, look, this is the one I want to focus on, this fourth bullet. You miss out on the results that could have been produced with a better employee. So it's not and I'm going to get to that in a second. So it's not just the actual cost of attrition. There's a huge cost of hiring a B employee versus an A employee. This cost is enormous. Work and effort required from you. So when you hire a B employee, the amount of work and effort required from you is way more. It's incredible the difference between hiring an A employee and a B employee. It's not like they're a little more work. I think that's the illusion. When you hire a B employee versus an A employee, they're like 2 to 4 times as much work, maybe more. It takes a lot more work and effort to work with a B employee. The second thing is the value add from an A employee. That's what you're losing if you hire a B employee. And we're going to get to that example in a second, but A players bring leadership, they bring ideas, they bring innovation, they're autonomous, they're self-motivated. A players are like, it's a joy to work with A players. And then this last cost, I think I've discovered this over the years, which is like, oh my gosh, it's probably, I'm not even kidding. I bet I've lost $1 million because of this. Anchoring effects. So this is a behavioral psychology thing, but anchoring effects. So what that means is if I hire a new salesperson and they come into my organization and I already have a salesperson in my organization. Let's say the current salesperson I have sells $20,000 a week. This new salesperson comes into my organization and that becomes the expectation, 20 grand a week. I've been battling anchoring effects for the last 8 years. Finally, I have salespeople who are selling like 30 grand a week. But that's still not where we want to be. I think salespeople should sell like 50K a week, but we're still battling these anchoring effects from bad employees we've had in the past. So I think that's way costly. It changes the world that people walk into. So let's look at the opportunity cost of hiring the wrong employee. And you could apply this to painters or subcontractors too. But let's look at an example with a sales rep because it's easy math. Let's say employee A is 10% better. This is an A employee, is 10% better than a B employee. That means employee B sells 900,000, employee A sells 990. Same number of estimates, they just perform a little better. They sell 990. The gross profit in your business is 40%. That'd be $36,000 in extra income per year by hiring an A employee over a B employee. Plus, employee A is a hell of a lot easier to work with, and they're a leader, and they innovate, and they're autonomous, and they're fun to work with, and they don't add stress to your life. But that's like kind of a best case scenario because A players are a lot more than 10% better than B employees or B players. If A performs 25% better than B, which is more what I've experienced. My experience is that I've had B employees be like a $800,000 in sales a year, and my A employee did 1.2. Like that, I'm thinking of specific people from last year in my business. I have someone who is a B employee who's not here anymore, sold around 750. I have an A employee who unfortunately isn't here anymore, sold 1.2. So that's actually more like 50% better. Maybe a little more than that even. So in this example, if your A player is 25% better than B, B sells $1 million, A sells 1.25, 40% gross profits, $100,000 on one employee. And your current employees anchor the results of future employees. And that goes both ways. You know, if you're a brand new salesperson and you come into an organization and all 3 salespeople sell 40 grand every week, what do you think you're going to do? If you go sell 30K or 25K, you feel like you're on the chopping block. But if you come into an organization where there's 3 salespeople who are all selling 20 grand a week and you sell 25K, you're a freaking superstar and you think you're underpaid and you get entitled. So there's huge impacts to how you build your teams. And this all leads to a negative compounding effect. So the bottom line is getting your hiring right and attracting A players is very profitable, or it's very costly, depending on if you get it right or not, or which way you look at it. So we're going to cover 3 parts to, not hiring, 3 parts to team building. So the first is the fundamental philosophy. There's some really basic things we need to understand about building teams. The second thing is we're going to talk about the necessary foundation that has to be in place if you want to even have a chance at being successful with building teams. And the third is we're going to go through the team building process. There's 3 parts to it, to the team building process. And I'm going to try, with however much time I've got today, I'll cover as much of that as I can. So part 1, philosophy. I already said this before, but there are no shortcuts to building teams. That double colon kind of bothers me. All right, there are no shortcuts to building teams. So these are the kind of the parts we're going to talk about in philosophy. Now there's more I could go in more depth about, but for now we're going to look at these 4 things. Understanding value and compensation. You are 100% responsible. What are you offering? And can you back it up? So understanding value and compensation. In life, we get compensated for the value we create. Now, I'm not saying that this is necessarily true. I think this is a powerful way to relate to this. This is a really powerful way to relate to this. And in my experience, this has been a very true statement. We get compensated for the value we create and provide. One way we create value for our employees is their compensation, right? So one way that I'm providing value to the people who work for me is how much they get paid. Now, how much they get paid, if we go back to bullet point number 1, how much they can get paid is based on the value they create. So how our employees get compensated is based on the value they provide. The value they provide is determined by you and me. And it's not about how much time invested. This is just a separate bullet. Value is not about how much time I invest. It's about value. Period. If I can create more value, I get compensated more. No matter how much I work, it doesn't matter. It's value. I get compensated on value. My employees get compensated on value. And I provide more value to employees when they can make more money, and they make more money when they can create more value. This is a very important fundamental piece to building teams. Quick thing. So a couple of people said, Jack Nicholson, you said the XYZ employee theory. Was that something I put on here? XYZ employee theory? I don't know what that is. And then wealth equals value times leverage. Sure. You guys are welcome to put those things in there, but I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Okay. Number 2, you're 100% responsible. It's your job to provide the opportunity. That's your job. Your job is to provide an opportunity. And by the way, the opportunity you're providing, which we're going to get to later, the opportunity you're providing is what determines the quality of people who are going to take it. It's your job to back up that opportunity. So you can't just say, I'll pay you $1 million a year and not back it up. But I'll tell you what, if you offered $1 million a year, you'd find some really extraordinary people. It's your job to find the right people. So it's your job to provide the opportunity. It's your job to back up that opportunity. It's your job to find the right people. And if you can't find the right people, you need a better opportunity. If you're failing at building teams, you're missing one of the pieces we're going to cover today. You got to take that perspective. Now, most people won't take that perspective, which is that's advantage me. Aspects of an offer. So what people care about. So look, this goes back to, what are you offering? Oh, I haven't got to aspects of an offer. What are you offering? Your offer limits the quality of people you can get. What you're offering limits the quality of people you can get. So if you're someone who's saying, I can't find any good people, it's probably because your offer sucks. You have to be able to back up your offer. Over time, you need to keep improving what you can offer. And when you improve what you can offer by improving your ability to back it up, you can find better people. You got that? Your offer limits the quality of people you can get. And what you can offer is based on what you can back up. Over time, your job is to keep improving what you offer people. And when you improve what you offer, you find better people. And when you find better people, they'll perform better. Oh, damn it, something weird happened. When you find I get a little thing on there now. When you find better people, they'll perform even better, and you'll create a better series. Well, we'll get to this. We'll get to this, sorry. Okay, so now let's look at the offer. Aspects of an offer, what people care about. So most people think, don't think like the whole picture here with what am I offering someone. So these are things that people care about. What's the job itself? Will they enjoy the work? What's the compensation? Are there bonuses or incentives for doing good work? Are there any benefits? What kind of training and support is provided? What are the company's values and culture? Do they want to represent you? Will they be proud to work here? What kind of goes with that too is will they be acknowledged? What future opportunities do they have? Will they be micromanaged and babysat, or will they be entrusted? What kind of vacation time and freedom do they have? Will they have a quality of life and a work-life balance? Most people don't think of this stuff when they hire people. They've got a, very, very old school view of hiring people like, if I hire you, I offer you a job for this much money and you do what I say. And that's a really crummy offer. Or, here's the job, here's what I'll pay you, but I'm not going to give you any training support, and I'm going to micromanage you and be kind of a jerk. And you don't even talk about future opportunities, and you don't provide any training or support to them. Or, people are not a good boss. They don't want to represent you. They're not proud to work here. Or they're overworked and they have no quality of life or work-life balance. If you want to attract the best people, you've got to have the best offer. There are no shortcuts to team building. And if you want the best offer, you've got to be able to back it up. So this is just this is the beginning. If you can't offer something good, you're screwed from the beginning. You're never going to get an A player, ever. You're never going to get an A player if you don't have an offer that an A player wants. And A players don't want $15 an hour to do whatever you tell them to do. Or 50 grand a year to work 55 to 60 hours a week. A players want future opportunities. A players want to be proud of where they work. A players want to be treated really well. A players want compensation and incentives for their performance. A players want training and support. A players don't want to be micromanaged and babysat. They want to be entrusted. A players want quality of life. What are some of the pieces that you can see here that you've been missing in the chat? What have you not been thinking of when designing your offer or trying to hire people? Anything? Quality of life. Taylor said quality of life. You know, and look, quality of life's a big one. What else? Benefits are tough. Yeah, great. You're looking in the wrong place. So don't look there. Look at what you can do. Future opportunities. You got to make a better offer. But you can't just make a better offer. You've got to back it up. By the way, Ryan just said training and support is something we can do. And yeah, man, training and support's huge. You can train people to what? It's not just train and support, it's train and support to have future opportunities. What future opportunities? Yeah, Sean, having fully defined job skills and requirements. That's a huge one. See, what you got to look at is when you don't provide these, it sucks as an employee. If I don't have fully defined job skills and requirements, I don't like that as an employee. If I have no future opportunities and I'm just swapping my time for a check, that is demoralizing. You're going to have a hard time finding good people if your offer sucks. But you got to be able to back up your offer. So whatever you're offering to someone, you need to be able to back it up and follow through on that offer. And that's what the rest of our webinar is going to be about. So in summary, at this point, it's not about how many hours you work. It's about the value you provide to an employee. That is your offer. And you need to be able to back up your offer. And you're 100% responsible for every step of the way. Because we're in a free market, guys. There's some amazing painters out there. There's some incredible salespeople out there. There's some amazing project managers and office managers out there. There's some incredible people out there. But incredible people don't work for minimum wage. Incredible people want more than just a job. And it's, you know, it's good news and bad news. The bad news is you got to provide more value. The good news is that's how you win. At least, you know, if there was no way to differentiate, then you actually would be screwed. You and I would be screwed. If there was no way to get an edge, we would just be playing the lottery trying to find the best people. Now you know how you get the best people, have a better offer. Oh, and benefits are hard? Figure it out. That's your job as an entrepreneur. You get compensated for the value you provide. Part two, the foundation. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what, if you don't have this, you can't back up any worthwhile offer. So the foundation, this is how you back up what you're offering. If you don't have a strong system for someone to produce results, meaning create value and earn money, they're unlikely to succeed. So what's a foundation? The foundation is your systems and standard operating procedures. Everything should be documented and standardized. If you follow this plan exactly, you'll get these results exactly. That's the foundation. That's what standard operating procedures and systems are for. If you follow this plan exactly, you'll get these results exactly. So how could a painter make more money? Let's just look at painter first. How can a painter make more money? If right now all we're talking about is money, because by the way, all those benefits, let's go back to offer real quick. The job itself. Okay, well, I can't hire a salesperson to do production manager to do sales, a painter to be an office manager, and an office manager to be a painter. So I got to hire people who are interested in the job. The compensation is based on the value they create, though. I can find solutions to that. Benefits are like more compensation. It's amazing to me that, if it costs me $4,000 to provide health insurance to someone, certain people, it's worth more money to, like if I list a job for 70,000 plus benefits, people are more interested in that job than they are for just a $74,000 job. So this is just more compensation though, right? Both of these, I can improve these by improving the value they create. Training and support, every one of you can provide more training and support. Every single one of you. The company values and culture, every one of you can have a better, more, do you even have values and culture? Do you stand for anything? Why would someone be proud to work in your company? Every single one of you can improve on that one. Every single one of you can improve training and support. What future opportunities do they have? You don't need to, you can solve that one right now too. It's called make a vision. It's called think about it. What could, if they really kick ass, how are you going to make sure they have an opportunity? You know what I'm doing? I'm like, shit, if all my people kick ass, they're going to hit a glass ceiling. I need to go create more opportunities. So I'm going to go start a commercial division, and I'm going to go start a roofing company, and I'm going to go start companies in other cities so that I have corporate positions available. I'm going to make damn sure my best people have a future. And that's a lot of value I'm adding, making sure they have a future. So I'll get compensated for that. Will they be micromanaged and babysat? I'm going to give you some solutions to not being micromanaged and babysat, but part of that is providing training, and part of that is trusting people, letting people fail, letting people work, letting people learn. Vacation time and freedom. This one, how you give people more quality of life, work-life balance, vacation time and freedom, that's more about how do they create the same value in less time, right? Because I can pay someone $50,000 a year and they work 60 hours a week. If I can help them get that same value created in 40 hours a week, they could take some vacation, have some freedom or some quality of life or work balance. So most of this list is within your reach right now. So now we're going to get into how do you help people create more value. And it's with your foundation, your systems and standard operating procedures. So back to my question I asked a second ago, what are the different ways a painter can create more value? How can a painter create more value? Ideas. Let them rip. An idea isn't worth much. What would a new idea or a skill do that's more valuable? How do they create more value? And Daniel, and what would that do that's valuable? So Daniel said, do the little things for customers without making a big deal out of it. Why is that valuable? Because it will create what value? Bring more efficient techniques to save time and money. So Will, that's like the how to do the same value in less time, right? I can have a painter be more valuable by giving them equipment that allows them to paint faster, right? So there's ways I can create the same value with less time. So you guys are all kind of pointing at the same thing. Do the little things for customers without making a big deal. Being of better customer service, quality work. being attentive to customers' needs and anticipating those needs. And there's a specific thing though, all of those things, what's the value all those things create? What does faster production rates is the same value in less time. So that's how I give them quality life. 5-star jobs. What's the value of a 5-star job? We're getting closer. Yeah, he'll be more valuable and if he's punctual, that will create what value? You guys are all pointing at the same thing. I'm just making you think about it. The value is referrals. Yeah, punctuality creates great perception on customer, less painter to accomplish more jobs come to you, word of mouth, positive referral. Thank you, Lacey. Yes, a painter creates more value when they get referrals, when they get leads from neighbors, when they generate 5-star reviews online. That's way more valuable. I'll pay someone a referral. I'll pay a painter referral fee. I'll pay them for a 5-star review. And by the way, and so there's really two sides to this is how do they deliver a much better experience for my customer? Like top notch, because I'll get more referrals and reviews. And how do they do it in less time? If I can help, that's how I create more value for my employee. And I create it by documenting, hey, this is how we do things. Now, what about a salesperson? How does a salesperson create more value? How's a salesperson create more value? Yeah, better close rate. They sell more jobs. So so the foundation for a salesperson creating more value is systems and standard operating procedures, a process for bringing in more money. Yeah, they could sell bigger jobs, sure, but there's a lot of different ways, but they bring in more sales. How do we reliably bring in more sales? Well, with a good foundation, systems and standard operating procedures. Now, if I don't have a documented way to do that, I don't have any way to back up the offer I make. See, if I've got a painter and I work with him and he gets a referral on every freaking job, I'll kick him 5% for every single referral. I'll kick him some amount of money. That's worth something to me. Look, who would you pay more money for? A painter who doesn't get a referral on every job or a painter who gets a referral on every job? Would you be willing to pay the guy who gets a referral on every job more money? Would you? I sure would. Would you pay a salesperson more money if they book 6 jobs out of 10 instead of 5 out of 10? I'll pay them more money. And when I can pay you more money, I'm paying you more money because you're creating more value. But it's my responsibility that you create more value. And how I make sure future people create more value is with systems. This will come back in part 3. So here's a quick example, okay? This is, we're bringing on, I told you we're hiring salespeople right now for Painter Choice. Before we started even recruiting, we literally spent the whole month of July cleaning this up because our system sucked. And this is where we're at now. So look, these are the SOPs. This is our, we've got an SOP called company history and background. You should know that. We should have company values and beliefs, understanding the contractor's mindset, sales process, beginning to end, asking questions and building rapport. Like we're literally teaching our salespeople how to pick out the sound of a sprayer for building rapport. Hey, if someone says they're working on a 40-foot ladder today, you should probably talk to them about that. That's hard freaking work. It's really high. Have you ever been on a 40-foot ladder? Explaining the service. Look, just this SOP is 4 pages long, I think. Just this one. We've probably got 80 pages worth of documented systems. And this is a pretty simple sale. If anybody knows Painter Choice, this is a pretty simple thing we offer. And we've got probably 80 pages worth of systems. Because if I don't have systems to teach someone, it's like flipping a coin if they're going to create any value. Could you guys see that page, by the way, that I was just showing you? Okay. Okay, so you guys get the message, right? We got to have part two. Part one is this philosophy. Part two is we got to have these standard operating procedures. So it's like, hey, if you follow this system, you'll produce this great value, which means I can compensate you, which means I can offer you more money and a better offer, which means I get better people. Without a foundation or SOPs, you're simply hoping or winging it. And look, I guarantee if I, if I called on any one of you right now and said, hey, you're coming on the screen right now, share your desktop and show me your SOPs. Show me your documented systems. Most of you probably couldn't even show me. No shit, you can't hire a team because you can't make anyone a good offer because you don't have systems to back it up. If I didn't have systems to back it up, look, we're hiring people for like an $80,000 base salary at Painter Choice. We can do that because we know if you follow these SOPs, you'll get these results. If you get those results, we can pay you 80 grand plus commission. If I didn't have SOPs, I would not do that. I would have to go way low to cover my ass so I don't go out of business. So if you don't have foundation or SOPs, you're winging it or hoping. Yeah, Painting Business Pro is good. That's a really good start for sales SOPs and for production SOPs. The SOP course. I mean, there's a, here, I'll put it in the chat for you, TJ, but it's this course that I'm selling right now. Oops. The price goes up because I just made a shitload of updates to it, but that's the base, that's the foundation. Okay, so the experience for an employee is this company doesn't have it together. So, Sean, I'm not picking on Sean, but I'm kind of picking on Sean. Sean's kind of fun to pick on sometimes because he's a good sport. But, if you don't have documented stuff or you don't have clear descriptions, the experience for our employees, this company doesn't have it together. Screw this. It's stressful as an employee to not have systems. It's frustrating for everyone involved because you have certain expectations of people, but if it's not documented, you're going to get frustrated with them and then they're going to be frustrated that you're frustrated. And it just, of course, it doesn't work out. It limits the value that can be created and the compensation that can be earned and the quality of life in that whole process. Are you guys following me? Can you see? Just type yes if yes. Can you see that? Can you see that without a foundation, you have no chance at being a good team builder? No chance. Yeah, it does. It takes work. Michael's been with me for years. Michael, is it worth it? See, it does take time and work, but the alternative is I will spin my tires forever. Okay, part 3, team building. So look, first of all, right, we got to have the philosophy down. We got to have a foundation. If you don't have a foundation, that's what you work on. When in 2018, we met as a company, 25 some full-time employees all met for 2 days. And all we did for 2 days is determine what's the future of the company. Now, we created a really big badass future of the company. It's the one where we want to open like 100 painting companies and other trades and provide tons of opportunities for entrepreneurs and employees, and people can grow and people can learn and people have training and life balance and they make $100,000 a year and they've got benefits and support and we make a difference in the community and all this stuff. So we created this giant future and, I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to fulfill on that, if we're going to do that, we have to start at the bottom. And you know what we did is we started with building SOPs. I'll show you guys really fast, actually. This is just for our production managers, okay? Every one of these is an SOP. Okay, so welcome call for customers, finalizing colors, dealing with unresolved client, resolving unsatisfied clients. I'll show you one SOP. Creating a winning relationship and expectations with subcontractors. And before I show you that, come on, sorry, this thing gets, this Zoom controls gets in my way. Okay, but look, this is how many SOPs we have, okay? And that's probably 15 a page. There's about 45, maybe 50. And then look, everything here, notes, updates to SOPs and new SOPs. See all these notes? These are all new SOPs we know we need to make. Here's one of them. Creating a winning relationship and expectations. This bad boy is 7 pages long. This is how you create a winning relationship with a subcontractor. This will get added to the Painting Business Pro course this week. But my point is, I spent about 1.5 years just building the foundation before I ever even worked on team building. You got to take the time with the foundation, because the foundation is how you can back up an offer, and your offer is how you find good people, and finding good people is a game changer. Yeah, Taylor. Taylor asked if we already have the course, will we get the updates? Yes. There are 3 main steps in the actual team building process. You'll notice this is entirely built on the foundation as we go through it. So step 1 in team building is we got to recruit A players. Step 2, we got to train and onboard those A players. In step 3, we have ongoing support, development, and management of those A players. So here's the process. So first we design our offer. It's covering those things we talked about above. What's the compensation, the duties, what are we offering? The offer, benefits, training, development, future opportunities, work-life balance, vacation time, all that. Once we have an offer, then we got to determine who are we trying to hire. So, what are the things we're looking for that makes a great salesperson compared to a great production manager? One thing is, a great production manager needs to be a great problem solver. A great salesperson doesn't need to be a great problem solver, but they need to be incredibly presentable and affable and trusting and trustworthy and easy to talk to. Did audio cut out for everyone? Okay. Step 2, so now we've got the offer, we're clear who we want to hire. And then we look at sourcing candidates and job posting. So this is where we post jobs and we source candidates. Let me see where we go. Okay, so we're going to get into a couple things. So then we source candidates, right? So we post jobs. So like I said, we were planning on hiring 2 salespeople for Painter Choice. We got 900 applicants. How did we get 900 applicants? Well, we have a really good offer. And we spent $500. Last year we hired Adam, a sales guy for Foothills Painting. We spent probably $2,000 on job ads. We got 400 applicants and we hired Adam. You've got to source candidates. Look, if you're posting a job and you're not willing to spend money to find good people, you're not going to find good people. But I already showed you the numbers earlier. Not good people lead to attrition, and attrition is freaking expensive. Not even taking into account the anchoring effects and the opportunity cost of missed results. Okay, so now we've got all these candidates. Then we get into screening applicants, because I'm not going to call 900 people. In fact, we only called about 12. And then we interviewed 6. Then we do the phone call. That's where we screen people out. So we called 12, 6 we said no, thank you. And then after the phone call, we do a first interview. This is an hour and a half long, super detailed interview. I'll give you guys a sneak peek of this at the end. And then step 6, research and phone calls. This is where we're calling references. And then we do final interview and selection. And it's just crazy thorough, this process. So just some quick tips on recruiting. First of all, if your offer is no good, that's going to make it tough. But your job posting attracts the candidates, and your job posting is based on your offer. So this is a really quick tip on how do you get some good applicants. So the first thing is you got to have a good offer. Watch the webinar again. How do I offer more money? Well, go back to your foundation. You know, what does this person need to do to justify more money? And how do I document a system to do that? That's great. Now that, okay, that's the system. So if you do this system, we know you'll get referrals. And if you get referrals, you get paid more. And you don't need to just pay them 25 an hour. You could still pay them 15 bucks an hour and say, hey, I'll give you 200 bucks every referral. And someone will come in and do that. And then once that's a system, then you put new structures in place, and that can start to become the norm. Okay, so anyways, create a good offer. Then you take your offer and you make a job posting. So here's a quick, really, really good tip. It's a shortcut because we've only got, 30 more minutes here. How you can make a really good job post is there's 2 parts to the job post. The first is the job title or the headline. So we do most of our recruiting on Indeed. So the headline of the job title is the first piece. That's what gets people to click. That's what gets people to look. So if I do a job posting for a sales rep, or I do a posting for sales rep, 40K plus bonuses plus benefits plus growth opportunities, which one would you rather click on? Obviously, you're going to click on the second one. So your job title and what you post increases how many people click. A players, good candidates are picky. They're going to scroll and scroll and scroll. They're going to be very picky. So what you can do is, so first of all, we got the headline and the title, but then we've also got the job description. Those are the 2 elements of your job post, and it's based on your offer. So what you can do is go be a job seeker and go on to Indeed and pretend you're a salesperson looking for a sales job. Just go see what's out there, so you know how to compete. If you want the best people, you got to have the best offer. So go see, if you were a salesperson, which job would you be interested in and why? What was the job title? What was the description? How did they write the job post? And then one up it, make yours better. Same thing if you're hiring a subcontractor. Same thing if you're hiring a painter. Same thing if you're hiring a production manager, a project manager, or an office manager. Go be a job seeker and see which one would you go after and why. And then one up it. So I got a quiz for you guys. I've given away some hints though, but how many applicants should you get before you start your selection process? What do you think? How many applicants would I want to get from a job ad before I'm even trying to choose people? Put it in the chat. A handful is not a number. Choose a number. And are you using, someone asked, are you using specific keywords for production manager? Project manager, production manager? I'm not sure of the question. So one person said 12. Someone said 10 to 20, 5 to 10. Mike said hundreds. Lace said 40 or more. Ryan said 50. Sean said 100 plus. Are you guys paying attention? Did I tell you that I got 900 applicants for 2 sales positions? Did you hear me say I got 400 applicants to hire my sales guy last year? It tells you I got 280 applicants to hire a couple production managers. Yeah, and it cost me thousands of bucks. That cost me thousands of dollars. Because that's what it takes to hire good people. Look, if you get 12 people, there's probably not a good one in there. If you get 20 people, there might not, you're choosing the best of 20. Best case scenario, you're hiring the top 5% of candidates. But one of the most important things is that the person is a perfect fit for the job. Or maybe another way to say it is the job is the perfect fit for the person. See, if you hire someone and this job is not exactly what they're looking for, they're not going to last. I'll say that again. If this job is not the perfect fit for them, they're not going to last. They're going to quit or you're going to fire them. And the chances are out of 20 applicants that this is the perfect job for one of them, it probably ain't it. I narrowed 900 people down to my favorite 8. I was meeting with the top, I narrowed it down to the top 1% and then started my selection. So you need, look, you got to get 100 applicants. Now, the only exception is like subcontractors, I don't get that many. Painters, I may not get that many. But the more important and higher paying the job is, the more I'm going to get. If I'm hiring a salesperson, a project manager, a office manager, I'm getting at least 150 or 200 applicants. Or I'm simply not giving myself the opportunity to get the creme de la creme. I'm not getting the best of the best with 20 applicants or 40 applicants. So that one thing will help you get better people, but only if you got a good offer. Smaller areas, you'll feel that out. But the point is, you're probably not getting enough. I mean, I'm not in a huge area, you know, I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado, 150,000 population. And we had no trouble getting 400 applicants for a sales job. Okay. Screening. So someone asked something about screening. So here's my quick tip for screening. In your job ad, at the very top of the ad, put cover letter required to be considered. And at the bottom of your ad, say cover letter required to be considered. And the very first thing I do, I had Carl actually help me narrow down that 900 people. He narrowed it down to 111 for me. He did that by eliminating people who didn't give a cover letter, or they had obviously a very stock cover letter. So I'm going to narrow it down with who wrote a custom cover letter for this job. No, Ryan, I follow the stuff in Painting Business Pro for subs. Like I said, in this webinar, I'm speaking more about sales, production, office, marketing manager, color consultant, phone salesperson, business development manager, commercial estimator, commercial project manager, like that. Okay, so there you go. There's some recruiting tips for you. If you follow everything I just said, I mean, very few people have the right answers here. This alone will help you get better people. Interviewing tips. Interview first, sell second. So what that means is, don't tell people all about you and then start interviewing them, because they'll just bullshit you. I hold my cards very close to the chest so that they have no idea what I'm looking for. So they can't bullshit me. So they just might as well be honest. So interview first, sell second. Don't ask generic interview questions. So, why do you think you'd be good at? Yeah, it's very easy to bullshit. But tell me about what you would do. What was your day-to-day at that position? And what was what's a situation you can remember that was really challenging? Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And then what happened? And what'd they say? So you don't want to ask generic interview questions. So don't go to Google and say good interview questions. We actually, my business partner did that in preparing for our interviews with like painter choice people, and he called me. He's like, dude, this is worthless. These are horrible questions. Know exactly what you're looking for, who to hire. That was that second step in the process. Be incredibly selective. And this is why the whole process needs to work. What I mean by this, this is why the whole process needs to work is you're going to be really selective. And if you're going to be really selective and you're going to make a good offer, you got to back it up. Like this is a whole system. You have to have a really good foundation. You have to in order to have a good offer, in order to make a good job post, in order to get a lot of applicants, in order to get good people set up for interviews so you can even be selective. So how this all fits together is when you do recruiting right, you're going to be very selective and hire A players or the best people you can at the time. But it's a lot of work to hire an A player. So you're going to train and onboard your ass off. Like when you hire this person, because you just put so much time into them, you are going to go all in on training and onboarding. But to do that, to do onboarding and training, you need a good foundation. Because that's how you train someone. You say, hey, this is the system. So like we said before, there's no shortcuts, and this is what separates the great companies from the mediocre. So training and onboarding, this is about a 4-week process. So now we've hired someone. And actually, I'll go back a sec. So Lacey said, if you're being super selective and no one meets the criteria or expectations, then do you then repost and just keep working to find the right person? And Lacey, there's probably a balance there somewhere. Because, you know, my offer, I can only back up 80,000 a year right now. So that's kind of why I say like get 200 applicants and then do this process and hire the best one. Make the best offer you can, make the best job post you can, then get 200 people and then be really thorough and hire the best one you can find. And then work on improving your systems more so you can make a better offer, a better job post, and hire an even better person the next time. That's kind of, does that answer that question, Lacey? So training and onboarding is like a 4-week process. So now we've hired someone good. So basically there's, this is how training works. This is a very shorthand version, but I take my SOPs and first I teach them in a classroom. I spend a day with someone and we just read over every SOP and go through every single one. And that's classroom training. And then I do in-field training. So we go in the field and we've got our stack of SOPs and I show you every single one of them and how they're done in the field. And then step 3 is I take my stack of SOPs and I go follow you around for a week and watch you do them in the field and give you feedback and rate you on them until you're following my systems perfect. And then once we get through that 4-week process, we move into ongoing management support and development. And we've got a one-on-one meeting every week. And again, I don't do one-on-ones with painters or subcontractors. I suppose I do with subcontractors. I meet them once a week, hand off jobs, and it's more of an on-the-fly thing. And I haven't had painters since 2009. So like employee painters. So I'm not sure how I would do that there, but referring to salespeople, project managers, office managers, business development, color consultants, marketing managers, all of that. This is a weekly one-on-one meeting. And their meeting is based on performance and results. And if they're not performing at the level they should be performing, I'm seeing which SOPs are they missing. And if I can't solve their problems and help them improve in a one-on-one meeting, I'm going back in the field. And, maybe they're following all the SOPs and I'm like, oh, I'm teaching you something that isn't documented. If I'm teaching you something that's not documented, sweet. time to make another SOP, and my system just got better, which means my offer just got better. So in summary, Michael, I didn't convert any employees into subs. It was separate companies. I started Foothills with subs. In summary, how to build ever improving teams. This is how you build ever improving teams. You build a solid foundation for the role. You document everything you can. Take some time. Painting Business Pro helps, but it's never done because then it wouldn't be ever improving. So you build a solid foundation for the role. Then you make the best offer you can back up today. And you follow a proven recruiting process and you hire the best person you can. Then you train them following the SOPs that are part of your foundation. Then you support, manage, and develop them using your SOPs. And while you're working with people, helping them be better, you improve your SOPs. Improving your SOPs is what backs up what you can offer. So now you can improve your offer, and we go back to the top. Round and round. This is how we just keep hiring better and better people who produce better and better results. And my company is, shit, I've only got a few more employees than I did when I did $1 million. We've got about the same size team at Foothills, but I don't even think we might hire like 2 people for next year, maybe 3, and we'll do 7 million, 8 million. So, you keep getting more and more value out of people, you can compensate people better, and you don't lose people, and you attract great people. And, we're getting to the point now where our people can't find this kind of compensation anywhere else. Okay, so obviously this is a pretty high level overview. What are you taking away? What are your biggest takeaways? If there was, 2 of them, what are they? And then I'll show you, I'll give you a quick glimpse of the whole system in some detail. Get my ass in gear. I'm doing it all wrong and need to dig deep in growth course. SOP, incorporate them immediately and update regularly. Shit, Sean, I would put in my calendar every damn week to make my SOPs a little better. And a quick suggestion, Sean, just because I have a background with you, dude, just start by mastering what I'm already teaching you in Painting Business Pro, and then build from there. I'm not even kidding. What's in Painting Business Pro? We built our company to Foothills to 2 million a year, and National Painting Group to 3.5 million a year with what is in Painting Business Pro. Train, onboard, this is great. Big takeaways. Foundation is the key to develop offer. SOPs are absolutely needed. Hustle. Still trying to master PB. Have a long way to go. Learning to trust the process. Set clear metrics for what you need in a specific employee before you go looking. Then interview on those. Very good, Jack. Do you look for guys who come from construction? In some cases, not office-wise, but project manager-wise, I do. All right, let's look at a quick outline here. Let me just give you, which ones do you want to see? So I've only got a few minutes and I got to bounce, but which of these SOPs do you want me to show you quick, just for an idea? So look here, I'll just start here while I'm waiting for messages from you guys. So here's the offer. This is how, these are the different elements of creating an offer. This is how you create an offer. And then here's examples from what's our offer at National Painting Group. Here's the whole damn thing. And then here's our current compensation plans for sales, production, and office. And even a color consultant. Shit, our color consultant makes $55,000 a year. Look, here's a quick example of some sales SOPs, okay? If you have the Painting Business Pro course, you already have something to start with. Shit, you even have training videos for all of it. Look, we've got 6 elements to effective sales process outline, understanding why people buy, conveying professionalism, sales statistics, taking care of customers, initial phone call, building rapport and relationship, pre-closing, need satisfaction selling cycle, closing and follow-up, common sales problems, personality selling, the Q&A, anchoring price, estimating, and if you have sales mastery, you've got even more to add to this. This is probably more of a documented set of standard operating procedures than most painting companies out there. Here's the production one. This is just from what's in Painting Business Pro before the update. This is basically what we followed to get to 2 million. It's basically this. Yeah, you do, Michael. Okay, we've got a who to hire document. So this is where I go into details on who to hire, character, talent. Here's a bunch of things we look for. Here's specifically what we're looking for in salespeople and production people and office manager. And here's some values we interview for. So this is all like my team building course, right? So we've got an intro. We've got a couple of videos I made, but I didn't put in this outline. But recruiting process, the overview. Every one of these sections has a video training as well. There's several hours, maybe like 4 hours of training in here. Who to hire. Here's sourcing candidates. This is a whole SOP on how do you do your job postings. Here's an example. Here's our office manager job post. Here's a sales job post. You can literally copy and paste it. Production manager job post. Here's screening applicants. Here's an example, a 20-minute video of me actually screening applicants and talking through it. Here's an SOP for the first phone call. So once you've screened these applicants, what's the phone call to set them up? Here's the first interview. This one's really good. Guys, this one document probably took me 10 to 15 hours to make and 15 years of experience. 7 pages long, every question you can ask, exactly how to script an entire hour-and-a-half long interview. This is like a freaking game changer. Okay, research and phone calls, final interview script, selection process. This is like the criteria. This is exactly like, here's your considerations. Here's how you choose to hire someone or not. If they get a yes on every one of these questions listed here, you can hire them. Okay, then we're hired. Okay, now we're hired. Then we have onboarding, sales rep employment agreement. I literally spent thousands of dollars on like making this agreement with attorneys and stuff. Not to say this is a legal document because that would be a stupid thing for me to tell you, but these employment agreements, there's little clauses in here that are in here because we got burned for thousands of dollars and now we have new clauses. These are like, how long is this one? I mean, these are no BS. The stuff in green is what you need to adjust and change. So another 7-page employment agreement, total cover your house employment agreement for production manager, sales, office. Most of these, about 80 to 90% of these employment agreements can be duplicated for other roles. An onboarding meeting and plan. This is literally the onboarding meeting. This is a checklist, the onboarding checklist, the first meeting I have with a new hire. This is how we track and measure people's training. This is the form we use to manage really good, effective one-on-one meetings every week. Then these are videos I filmed with the whiteboard. How do you deal with underperformance? Performance improvement plan. So like this whole team building section is built for you. So that's what the team building course is for Painting Business Pro. If you want help with the foundation, that's Painting Business Pro. So there's Painting Business Pro and there's PBP team building. And that's really it. So anyways, what I would recommend is if you don't have Painting Business Pro, I would recommend getting it. If you don't have the team building course, I would recommend getting it. This video is going to be posted in a few different places. We're going to put this on YouTube. We're going to put it in the members area for Painting Business Pro. I'm going to send it out an email tomorrow. So wherever you're watching this video, there will be a little more information about how to get these 2 courses below the video. But if you want to build a great business, you've got to be able to build a team. And if you want to build a team, you've got to have a good foundation. But having a good foundation ain't the whole thing. That's just a requirement. Then you've got to have all these elements to choose the right people. You don't have to. I didn't have these for a long time, but I went through a lot of screw ups and it cost me a lot of money making a lot of mistakes. And that's what's really baked in. So hope you guys get the value of this team building course. You know, I put a lot of work into that whole system, and I know how valuable it is because I know what a difference it's made for us, hiring and training people the last 14, 15 months. So anyways, I'm going to end with any questions you guys have. Have you scaled this out to other interior fit out trades like drywall and carpentry? Michael, glad you're here. Changed my life. You're the man, Michael. Robert, have you scaled this out? Hey, Robert, what do you mean by scaled this out? Not the Painting Business Pro stuff, but after seeing what I've done, what I put together, the team building, I'm like, dude, I apply this with every company. I mean, Painter Choice is a freaking marketing company. We're doing hiring. The team building stuff I've put together is gold. So that I might be scaling out when I have time. So much value. Thank you. Hey, Sean, what was valuable to you? Lacey, love all the training. Appreciate your time and all you invest in the industry and others. Thanks so much. Gary V, what's in the back? They are. TJ, do you have a central location for your employees from an office they work from? Mostly we're working remote right now. We do have an office that people go to like once a week. Terry got Painting Business Pro 6 years ago, ready for team building. How much? Terry, you'll have to email me. It's just eric@paintingbusinesspro.com. Email me. And Robert, have you run this model with other types of construction contractors or combined services? Yes. Like, I don't offer this course or training to other industries right now. I have had people in other industries use my courses. I've had people use Painting Business Pro to start a roofing company, or a landscaper buy Painting Business Pro and then use it in their landscaping business and start a painting business. And this, you know, the fundamental model I teach definitely applies to other businesses. I don't run other construction companies right now, but I've consulted other home services. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you got a lot out of this. Awesome, Sean. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys being here. I am wiped. That was a lot of talking today. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some value out of it. Hey, and by the way, before we go, I have one last question. Let me share my screen quick. One last question. Did we deliver on this? Did we change your perspective on hiring people and building teams? Did you see where you've made mistakes in the past? Do you see the clear pathway to building teams in the future? Oh, and I promise you one more thing. Here you go. PvP team building is a separate course, Robert. Okay, here you go. This is the last thing I promised. Okay. We did it? All right. Robert, if you have questions, man, just email me. This is my email. It's eric@paintingbusinesspro.com. And guys, before I end this, I'm going to stop the recording now. So anyone who watched this, if you want to reach me, it's eric@paintingbusinesspro.com. There should be links below this video, wherever you're watching it, or you can get Painting Business Pro or the team building program if you think it would help you. I promise it will. and I'm just an email away. I answer all my emails. I respond to them all myself. So that's it. Thanks for watching.